And good morning to everybody on YouTube. We are now live, and gentlemen, all our voices are now live on YouTube. Be aware, you're being recorded. So there we go. 16 people waiting according to the counter already. Sorry, you guys had to wait. I just I had to quickly restart my explain and get a few things settled and sorted here. And I'm going to fall in line and get going.
Don't forget to start the A cars.
Quickly.
I am ready for electrical power up procedure.
Before we do that, it's a bit chilly here. It's -5 degrees apparently. Morning Rob, morning John Redmond, morning Mark. Here you go, look at that, look at all the ticks. Hello Hakan.
How are you today?
Cold sir, cold. And you?
This is raining here.
Alright, well, I've not spotted raining. My xenviro needs to update still, I suppose.
No, in Turkey.
Oh, in Turkey. Oh, okay.
Too much rain, too much rain. I feel myself like Uncle John's next.
Okay. Hello, Flight Simmer X. Alright. Morning, Jean-Pierre.
Kevin.
Other button. 136, 2.2. Archibus, hi, thanks man. Appreciate it. Same to you. And this one is 2.2. And 6.2, yes, activate. Let's have a quick look, which way do we need to push? Let's start with the basics, eh?
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Hey, Jet Power, good morning. Morning, Elias. It's nice to have you guys here, man. It's awesome. You guys also remember you can join Discord.
Hello,
and you can
Skymatix 04, taxi to runway 28 via B4 and Tango 3.
You guys are welcome to join us on Discord and come sit with us anyway. That's all I wanted to say when Kevin rudely interrupted me there.
Run to cockpit, bladder knowledge, call me through the menu when you are ready.
It's just a joke, okay. Right, okay, so let's get going.
Good morning.
Yes, Hakan.
Morning.
Airkeeper 001 donated €2 through SuperChat.
You pressed the wrong
Good morning,
button.
Nico, and happy Sunday to everyone.
Hakan, you're clear now for push.
There you go.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin said you're clear to push now. I think you need to take him up on that offer.
No, I'm waiting for my lovely uncle to push.
Okay.
We need to hug each other.
Okay. You're in a touchy-feely mood again today.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, let me quickly show the guys here on the stream where we're going to fly and what the story is. So we're going to fly there from France, up top there at Vatry, going down to Bilbao there in Spain, just to give you guys an indication. That's the plan. That is our plan. Right, so flight level. We've got a step climb again. Let me actually put that up.
Factory traffic, Skymatix 459, ready for pushback and engine start.
before taking de-icing, you cannot engine start.
Yeah. Akan, there is no visible moisture in the air, okay? So as long as there's no visible moisture, I mean, yeah, we can see it's a little bit misty and all, you know. At worst, all I'm going to do is just switch on my anti-ice. Just use the normal ground procedures. I'm not going to do a complete anti-icing because there's nothing physically continuously falling on the airfoils. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Did you see me?
Yeah, I heard you.
I have spoken like a de-icing operator.
You're gonna get smacked. One of these days, somebody's gonna smack you. What's next? See, you talk so much, I completely lose my track here. I want to get to 350. Yes,
Who
350. You talk a lot.
I don't.
Well, you completely confused me.
This is not my problem.
I hear you. Hey, Stafford. Morning. Yeah, we're all good. We're busy having some fun here already. You guys mustn't take us too seriously. We've got a special relationship here. We just like to talk nonsense sometimes with each other. Wow.
SkymatixVA Flight, starting taxi, Bravo 2, Tango 2, Tango 3, holding point runway 28.
I clipped that thing incorrectly, but anyway. Don't worry about that later.
Skymatic 049 at Whiskey 4, taxi to holding point Alpha 5, runway 28, via Tango Skymatic 049.
Sleep well, Stafford. Enjoy. Oh, he's updating Explain 11 as well, but his focus is on 12. Once he's done and he's reached a certain point in 12, he'll translate what he can back to 11. Remember, not everything is compatible with 11. So as things are compatible, those things will be transferred to 11. Good morning, Umur.
Umur Özbek, Turkish guy.
Yeah.
Good morning, Umur.
No worries, Jet Power. Yeah, look, Zibo said from the beginning, he'll try and keep Explain 11 up as far as humanly possible. You know, but having a real world job, real family, working your butt off on the Explain 12 ones, you know, the Explain 11 one takes a bit longer. We're taking Ali Zulu, yes. Ali Zulu on 12. BLV. Yes.
All traffic, we are pushing back Turkish 982.
double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices will need to be turned off and put away at this time. This doesn't include all cellular phones and two-way features. Flight attendants, please prepare your doors for departure and contact.
Ha 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 ha. Mac,
Yes.
look, my dash cyan line is back.
Oh. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
That would be that problem we found with the magenta line again.
Yeah. Morning, Rob. I am so glad that's back. Right, so we were talking briefly about it earlier. I want you guys to have a look here. I'm going to share my OFP with you as well, so you guys get into the picture. That's where we want to be. Just close that one. So in your SimBrief OFP, this line over here, this one tells you your step climbs, okay? What happens is when you do the uplink, like I'm doing here on this side now, you'll see it's going to take the first one, flight level 190, see there. But we've also got a step to 340, and our final altitude is 350. So my suggestion to you is when you see this mistake, please fix it, okay? Because if you do not fix it now, the aircraft is going to climb up to 190, regardless of what you set your MCP. It's going to level off and stay there until you either go to the cruise page in the FMC and up the value and then execute it, or until you go to the MCP, up the value or change the value and then press your altitude intervention button. Okay, so be aware of this. Okay, there's certain responsibilities that you still have is to make sure that it is actually true and correct. Okay, so just be careful now, because in my case now, I'm definitely going to put 350. And then I need to check the outside air temperatures and stuff. You see, it even tells me, that could be wrong. So we can quickly go to our top of climb winds, and we see there it's 333 at 40, and it is minus 23. So the minus 23, that is correct. The 333 at 40, that is correct. So we've changed that, we've checked it, this is correct, and we are just going to accept it as that. Then we're going to enter our reserves, obviously, and execute it. So the reserves in this case is 1.9.
Skymatix 459, Vatry traffic ready to taxi, runway 28 via Bravo 4, Tango at Holshore Alpha 4.
I'm just taking a quick screenshot because I shouldn't say unable. If we can go there, then that should not be a problem, so we just have to make sure.
Chalons traffic, Skymatix 049, holding point Alpha 5, align runway 28, cleared for takeoff, Skymatix 049.
Umar?
Out of interest, that might go away when you press execute.
Well, yeah, but the problem is that we don't want to force it to go away. It shouldn't come up, Mac. It shouldn't come up. It shouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's still complaining, so we're going to have to go look at that. Definitely not right in that sequence. Let's have a look, see.
See, there's no outs in there yet. You must have a
Mac, I've programmed.
Discontinuity.
No, I don't have any. We go to route and we go to the next page. There's no discontinuity. It's not calculating top of climb or top of descent because it says it can't reach there, right? Which is not the way it's supposed to be. So,
have you put your final SID in there?
everything is in. Everything is
star in there.
Everything is in there. So there seems to be a little bit of a miscalculation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the 190 again, right? I'm just going to execute that. Okay, so it obviously does not mind that. So what we'll do is during the climb process, we're going to use altitude intervent with the MCP to push that up and see what happens. But Zibo's going to have to look at that. Okay.
Right. What's the legs page saying now?
Legs page says nothing. It's just the way it
no,
is.
it's filled in all the outs now, hasn't it? That's
Yeah.
what I was getting at.
All right. So yeah, no, that's just one of those things that needs to be checked, obviously. Okay, because that's weird. All right. So let's continue. I'm going to leave that at that. Umar, when we train the new pilots, to answer your question, when we train the new pilots, just to make it easy on them, we use the average winds because it is literally right there. Sorry, one line down. There. That's your average winds. Okay, that's how we usually train the new pilots. When we get to the more advanced stuff and we get into, that realm where the real pilots operate, all right, then what usually happens is the top of climb winds is taken, right, over there. And that's where we get the data. So usually it's not a big difference. Usually it's less than 10 degrees and less than 10 degrees in direction and 10 degrees in Celsius. In this instance, it's slightly more. So, it's much of a muchness. It's not going to kill you if you use either one.
Skymatix 459, ready for
pre-flight
takeoff,
procedure.
runway 28.
Morning, Scotsman. Okay, so we are all set. Let's have a look, see outside. Ooh, these clouds and things are coming. Look at that.
Chalon traffic, SkymatixVA Flight, airborne on the RC1 Whiskey departure, passing 2,500 feet, SkymatixVA Flight.
Trim down.
So I'm going to go for 190 to remind myself that I need to set it higher, and we'll handle the rest up in the skies.
Vatry traffic, Skymatix 459, clear for takeoff, runway 28.
Traffic, Skymatix 028, pushing back, stand Echo 6, facing east.
Nico, could you please look at my screen on Discord?
What's up? Oh yeah, it happens. That's IVO. It will refresh.
Who is that guy?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, Hakan. It's just a network fault.
Should I wait for taking off him?
I don't know. Ask on the radio.
I will wait a little bit.
All right. Well, this weather is closing in on us like hell now. Yo.
Skymatix 194, lines at runway 28.
Run to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Skymatix 459 is cleared of runway 28, flying through to flight level 6000.
Yeah, it's weird.
KLM 171, pushing back, Echo 8, KLM 171.
Echo 10.
No, I do not use Traffic Global. I only fly on Iveo for multiplayer, and that's how we get all the different people showing here. I don't use any AI traffic add-on at all.
Skymatix 194, taking off runway 28.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Yeah, but now we're going to have to do the anti-icing because we can't go anywhere like this. This is a problem. This is a hell of a problem all of a sudden.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
In fact, I can tell you one thing. In the real world, they would probably close the airport if it looks like this. You're not moving. The joys of flight simulation. We're gonna move. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Skymatix 194, airborne passing 4,000 feet.
Probably not. I'm not very comfortable with the HUD, to be honest. It's not something that I generally use, but what we can do is we can set up the ILS for runway 28, and then we can use our flight director to keep us on the runway. I think just for the show, maybe we should use the HUD. Let's see. Let's go. So we're going to quickly set up the ILS here. The ILS frequency is 10955. Okay, well, we landed yesterday, so it's the same thing. Alright, so the ILS is set up. And obviously our course heading is set up. So our flight director there will work, and then obviously the HUD will work. So yeah, we might as well use that. Why not? Yeah, just for effect. Oh yeah, it's very dangerous. Yeah, you can say that again. Well, Rob, yeah, cool.
Traffic, Skymatix 028, taxiing to Tango for runway.
Okay, it looks like I can actually push. So, battery traffic, Skymatix 001, push and start.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
3 minutes separation.
Yes, please, guys, please use 3 minutes at least. It does look like fun, eh? Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine.
Morning, Alex.
Two minutes.
25 and 2.
All good and excited because of this weather, Alex. Look at this. It's crazy.
Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine.
A minute.
Yeah, it's closing in fast now.
25 N2.
If you want to buy the IXEG 737, if that's your style of aircraft that you would like to fly, I would highly recommend it. I've got it. I've flown it a few times.
Engine start procedure complete.
Set parking brake.
Hakan, do you have a problem?
Disconnecting the
No, I'm waiting for separation. It is 40 seconds.
Roger.
Alright, anyway, after that, yeah, the IXEG is a nice aircraft. If that's your cup of tea, go for it.
Rolling out Turkish 982. You must be patient, Uncle John.
Don't you start.
Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
Coming to 047 lining up and waiting.
Can you unhide your yoke, please? Okay.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, thank you.
Before taxi
Airborne
procedure
Turkish
complete.
982.
I am ready for before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators. On. Probe heat. On. Anti-ice. Wing anti-ice off.
Okay, guys, we're going to do the anti-ice
Anti-ice
procedures just now. So I just want her to finish so that she does not
Isolation
interfere.
valve.
Then we're going to look at the anti-ice stuff.
Auto. Engine start switches. Continuous. Recall.
Chalon traffic, Skymatix 078, push it.
Auto brake. Rejected takeoff. Engine start levers.
Gate E1.
Flight control.
I did not check that yet. Sorry, Linda.
Checked. Flaps.
Zoom in on your yoke, Nico.
It's not moving.
Change the flap.
I don't want to set the flaps because we're going to do the anti-ice now.
Oh, fair enough. When you do your flaps later then. Yeah.
Flaps is not set.
Yeah, she's probably going to moan now. That's her problem.
Before taxi checklist is not complete.
Yeah. Oh, look at
For more
this.
information, the
Yeah.
bow tower is online.
Okay, that's cool. I pushed the I pushed the wrong way. I've just looked at the charts now, and there's no link. Look at that. Look, Owen's making a link for himself. Morning, Owen. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Anyway, so, gentlemen, it's a pity that the fog is basically lifted, but we can still follow the rest of the. We can still follow the rest of the checklist. So basically what it says is 0 degrees and less. So in other words, getting colder into the minuses, we need to have the engine and the wing anti-ice on during all taxi operations. Right. For visible icing, I'm just going to quickly turn around here. For visible icing, visible precipitation that could cause icing, we need to use this de-icing fluid. So I think for the effect for today, why don't we just use it and get it over with? We're just going to quickly turn around. So typically you would now taxi the way we do at this moment, and you would get to your de-icing bay if you have a specific de-icing bay at the airport. Now in this case I don't see a specific de-icing bay unless I again didn't check it very well, but basically it comes down to this. You're going to taxi with your wing and engine anti-ice on until you get to that bay, and then we're going to stop. We're going to put on the parking brake, then it's up to you. There are two procedures available. There's the one for flight simmers, which is quick and easy, or otherwise the one that we're going to use now, which is according to the FCON, right? So let's get that on here. So there's the checklist, right? So what we want is APU must be off unless required. So right now we can say the APU is off. Flaps must be up. We have no flaps selected, so that's fine. Thrust levers must be idle, so that is fine. Stabilizer trim must be 5 units set. It's reasonably close. I think we're at 475.
Skymatix 078, taxiing to holding point, runway 28.
Alright, so stabilizer trim, then engine bleed switches. Both of them must be off, because we don't want to suck that fluid into the people, into the cabin and into their lungs, so leave them healthy. APU bleed switch is off, and then, oops, went too far on the tablet.
We have started the de-icing procedure.
There we go. And this will take 3 minutes. Yeah, those are nice add-ons to have a X camera and X-realistic.
On traffic, Skymatix VA Flight lining up and
Ladies and gentlemen, Erwin is here. I would like to say good morning, Erwin.
Good morning.
Morning, Erwin.
Good morning.
Right, so I had a quick word with Zibo yesterday. He said to me we are using fluid type 3 and we have a 45-minute hot state. The hot state of 45 minutes is dependent on the precipitation, whether it's rain or snow, and it's dependent upon the volume of the actual precipitation happening. So what will happen is you've got up to 45 minutes protection against ice on your wings, but it will diminish. The time will get shorter, with heavier precipitation, and then also once you are airborne it diminishes rapidly. Okay, so then you have to use airborne procedures. So you guys must just, please remember that. Yeah, it's the one from Yeri. What about it, Alex? That ground services, yeah? It will be updated, yes. It will be updated, and we're just waiting for Yeri to get a chance to do it.
Bilbao Tower online.
Yeah, we heard earlier, somebody said already. No idea. No idea. Tag him in Discord, Jbrick. Tag him in Discord and ask him. I think a lot of guys would like to have that plugin, so it would be cool.
I'm waiting on the runway. Uncle John says, Hakan, do you have any problem?
We heard on the radio, we heard. There you go, anti-icing is done. Right, so now we need to put on that chrono.
Complete.
We need to wait 1 minute. So we're here now.
I should have said, Nico, I'm fine and you.
Yeah, it would have been funny. It was funny anyway. That's why we have to wait 1 minute.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you.
Perfect, camera situate. Taking off.
Right, we're almost at the 1 minute stage. Right, so engine bleeds can come back on. Linda needs to do the trim again. Right, engine anti-ice both on. Wing come off. Right, they on, wings can come off. Alright, and then we can go. Negative say you never taxi with flaps in icing conditions.
I have a question, Nico. What is the minimum requirement for taking off from a runway, I mean from an airport, which is under foggy circumstances?
What I do, like I've done now, is I've set my ILS up so I can have my flight director that will keep me on the runway. So I just follow my flight director for the ILS to take off on that runway.
Okay, what I wanted to ask, sometimes in real life, airports are closing.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's a certain cutoff point they will never allow to fly if there's enough fog. But, you know, we're in a simulator, so we kind of push the envelope a little bit.
Okay,
KLM 171 taking off runway 28.
Actually, I have asked a stupid question because I need to consider landings as well. If you don't see the minimum under minimums, the airport is closing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that was the question's answer. I'm sorry for stupid question.
No, we don't worry about stupid questions. We're all just chatting here.
Sometimes before asking any question, I need to think the vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy, Mark.
Nico, there is no taxiway on
Cabin
that
crew,
way.
take your seats, prepare for takeoff.
What do you mean?
I think your nose is in the wrong way.
Mm-mm. Oh no, this time I actually checked proper.
.180 you must turn.
Yeah, for takeoff, yes.
Chalon traffic, Skymatix VA Flight lining up and hold runway 28.
So Nico's Artie here. No ATC this morning?
There's no ATC here at this airport, but on the receiving airport there is on the destination side.
Okay.
Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure. Before takeoff procedure complete. Ready for before takeoff checklist.
Chalon traffic, Skymatix VA 8. Taking off runway 28.
Right, so now I'm setting my flaps. I'm gonna go flaps 5 as usual.
So we'll go.
Thank you, Tommy.
Ready for before taxi procedure. Flaps 5 set.
Alright, here he goes. So gave him the start of the chrono there. Right, so before takeoff procedure is done. We do not want to release the parking brake yet because we just want to give him some time to get off and the 3-minute break. Then we're going to do the takeoff config test. Okay, I've set my parking brake on just to help me a little bit. I'm gonna have to remove that. Do the takeoff config test, and then we're gonna do the run-up test when we are lined up on the runway. Yeah, I think in this instance, Jean-Pierre, if Sasso was here, would give you the actual formal answer, but it just probably means that, you know, it's it's detecting that somewhere in the taxi we might be skidding a little bit. I don't know. Don't take me on this. Don't take this answer to heart. I don't know. We'll have to ask Sasso for the proper explanation. But it's got something obviously to do with skidding, and we've got icing conditions, you know. So it's probably determining that we're kind of skidding a little bit somewhere. I don't know. I actually don't know yet. Not at this moment. I don't think there's anything you can do to correct it except for taxiing slower and taking your turn slower, because if you're going to take your turn a little bit fast, the aircraft's going to kind of skid it, you know, so maybe that's it. But remember that question when Sasso comes. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Right, 1 minute remaining.
So, Nico, while you're waiting that 3-minute mark, you could still go onto the runway and line up and wait?
Well, it depends on traffic. Remember, we're flying with real people now, right? So if you go onto that runway and somebody wants to land, you're going to force him to do a go-around, and he's going to be upset with you. You see, so preferably do it at a later stage, unless you look on WebEye and you can see there's really no traffic coming. You know, that's a different story. I'm glad you
and that's
that's
what I'm looking at the moment. I'm looking at WebEye at the moment. I can see you all lined up, ready to come onto the runway, and that's hence the question.
No, it's just good sportsmanship, you know. Anyway, coming back to Jean-Pierre, I forgot to set my takeoff. We go to page 2 on the takeoff page. I forgot to set my anti-skid. So I'm not sure if that was telling me, hey, you forgot it. That it could be as easy as that. Hey, you forgot it. We can see we're skidding a little bit, but you didn't tell us about it. So I've just set it. Obviously, I had to reset my V-speeds, you know, so it could be part of that. All right, so we've gone over our 3 minutes. Let's go. Parking brake off. Let's get on that runway. No. You're not going to do that to me. Who are you? What do you want? Morning.
Approaching 28.
Morning, Tower Skymatix 001. We're lining up and ready for takeoff on runway 28.
Runway 28 confirmed.
Skymatix 001, runway 28, clear for takeoff.
On runway 28.
Wind 220 degrees, 7 knots.
Thank you so much. Runway 28 cleared for takeoff. Have a good day, Skymatix 001. Right, so what we want to do is we're just going to park right here. We're going to do Tower, for your information, Skymatix going to do the 30-second run-up for de-icing. I forgot to tell him. There we go. So we're going to go to about 70%. And we're going to hold that for plus minus 30 seconds. Make sure we blow off all the ice and everything. And then we're going to go. Well, Mark, I've started the clock a few times already, but basically in normal operations you start it before you hit your toga so that you can measure the time your engines run. There we go. That's it, toga. Bloody controller. This button, you know, this alpha yoke doesn't make contact. I had to press it 3 times to get toga. So anyway, I'm just going to leave the clock now because that will give us our 3, 4 or 5 minutes depending on your SOP and your aircraft, you know. If we need to redline the engines a little bit, we know the timing that it's been, you know, hammered hard. And there's Gear up. Wow.
Yeah, tower on the departing now.
Yeah, I spoke to him. And he's command A. Stephen, yeah, you see that. Yeah, that could be. I know why you say that, and I agree with you, but under the circumstances, I'm not really entirely sure. Maybe it's just because I forgot the setting, or maybe it is a big deal. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Not at the moment.
Skymax 001, no, you can fix Unicom 12.8 for passing. Nice day.
Flaps 2
Thank you for your service, Unicom 122.8. Skymatix 001. There we go, flaps up.
Approaching transition. Flaps up and set.
No, you don't set that TO thrust, Mark. I think TO thrust is going to cause problems for the aircraft. You don't want to go there. It's just 70%. You just set that 70% for 30 seconds, and that will loosen up all the ice and stuff that might cause a problem later.
Transition altitude.
If you guys download my training checklist, you'll see there I've got a few pages dedicated to the anti-icing procedures and stuff, and you can learn from there. Hey, Michael. Yeah, they're not bad, eh? Sun is a bit harsh.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches off.
Nico, you got a few guys flying this morning. And
looks like
I can
it.
see that you're the last one. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. A nice little line actually that I can see. Bloody beautiful.
Yeah, there's 12 of us. Can you believe it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, hang on. I've got to get.
Yeah. You're number 11.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, very good.
There is an early bird, number 04, so you're number 12, Nico.
No. I've counted them. I'm 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then you see where I got 12 from is there is LIT 155 in the mix there, but he's a different color. And I thought it may be somebody flying with us, but he's not. He's just in the queue.
Ah, yeah, you're right. Oh, on arrival, the arrival runway is
12.
12.
Yeah. Same as the planning.
Be aware, guys. Huh?
Yeah. You don't need the yoke anymore, Mac.
No, you didn't actually show the people the movement when you selected flap.
Flaps, okay. When we do an actual test stream and not a group flight, Mac, maybe that's a better time to go through all of those things. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
no.
everybody's here for that.
So Nico, might sound a bit of a dumb question, but seeing you just departed from your airport and you're flying down to your next airport and you already know which runway you'll be landing on, is that through Navigraph that you already know which aircraft, which runway you're using, or is that ATC designating a particular runway?
There's two answers. Number one, when I did the flight planning last night, I used Navigraph to determine the runway because I read through the SOP and I also checked the winds. Okay, so the two said 12, but the ATC that is now here, he actually published it in his ATIS. He says it's runway 12. So I check it through IVEA WebEye. Have you got the WebEye?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so if you click on him, he'll give you the ATIS, you know, so it just happened to be the same.
Alright, I shall do that and see.
Okay.
Thanks.
Right, so now we're at flight level 190 and we have to go up to the next level. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go to do it via the MCP rather. Let's do it that way. So we're going to go up to 350. And we're going to hit altitude intervent, and there you go. So that sets our cruise page for us, and we don't have to come and do that here. Mark, yeah, I've got the Alpha yoke, Bravo throttle and Thrustmaster entry level pedals, eh?
I know 118.
Yes, Michael, it is xenviro. Sorry, I missed your question there. No, I gotcha, Stephen. Gotcha. Understand what you're trying to say.
So Nico, Zadi here again. Now I see how that works by clicking on the airport and it gives you all the information on the left-hand side on the screen. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, got it.
For the guys wondering what we're talking about, let me put it on the screen here. So this is IVEA WebEye, and there you can see our little train as we're coming in, right? And there's Kevin right in front. There's the airport. So if you put your mouse on anyone flying in that direction, even me, you see where the departure is. It draws that line for you behind the aircraft and to the front. That's obviously where we're going to land. So if you click on that red circle, it gives you the ATIS information right there. So I see we have information Charlie, and the runway is 12, arrival and departure.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. It's very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Just little tricks that you learn as you go along.
Yeah. Thank you, Jet Power. I'll just quickly put it into a link here so I can just open and close it easier than to share the whole screen. Yeah. So now we have top of climb. Obviously it did not moan again now. It's also updated this far, so all good. There's no unable altitude or anything now. Nice. just over an hour left in this flight. Morning, Twixter.
Nico, the other thing I have to say is I love the little trick that you showed in one of your tutorials, if people want to follow that. It's about getting little nav map onto your electronic flight bag.
Oh, yeah.
And they can sort of give that. Yeah, that's a nifty little trick. So I like that. I've used that quite a bit now since I've learnt it.
It's such a habit of mine. I feel naked if I didn't do it. I promise you. It's so weird.
Just leave the weird out of it. Yeah, very good.
We're above the clouds. We're not going to go through any more clouds that I can see, so we might as well switch off the engine anti-ice. No need for that. I don't see any ice on the wings, so definitely don't need wing anti-ice.
So Nico, have you ever flown in Europe somewhere and you look out the window like you just did then and looking at the wings, and you ever seen ice form on
Yes.
the wings while you're flying it? Yeah, you've seen that?
Yeah, in X-Plane 12 years.
Yeah, right. That's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
To see that, and all of a sudden you start panicking.
Yeah, the other thing that the Zibo also gives you when you are in really bad icing conditions is you'll see it on the edges of the windscreens as well. It literally builds up on the windows as well. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So being out in Australia here, we don't get those sort of...
Yeah, so same here in South Africa. I mean, it's really got to be bloody cold in South Africa before you get that.
Yeah. And it doesn't even happen here. It can get cold here, but while we're talking, 5 degrees, 6 degrees maybe. It's only when you get into the high country. Many years ago, I experienced minus 15, but that's probably a worst case scenario, but that only happens once in a blue moon anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the landing runway, Nico?
12.
So Nico, looking at that screen now where it says descent forecast, and you're looking at descent winds, and you've got request the descent wind forecast, whatever. Is that predetermined from departure point, or is that determined as your flight progresses to arrival?
No, it comes from SimBrief, you know, that B738x.xml file. So when you do your export, it's all in there. That's where it comes from.
Right in there.
That is why Zibo's removed the ISA and the QNH, because that is something that you need to put in that is current. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why I've just done my calculation here, so I can put -8 and the QNH is 1018.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. Because that has to be current. This can be off a little bit, but that has to be through. There you go,
All right.
done.
Yeah, excellent. And my other question I have is that when you come in and you sort of configure the aircraft for descent, and you work out your fuel quantities for landing, so you get to your page, and I just pull a figure out the sky here and say you got 46.5. Yeah, down the bottom, down fuel quantities, but somewhere along the line, don't you have to deduct that actually from another figure on another screen?
I'll show you. I'll show you. Let's just get to the top of climb. Okay, we're almost there. Then we'll do it together. Then we'll do the calculation together.
All right, cool.
Almost there. Let it just get there and stabilize, and then we can do it.
I sit here with notepad and pen at the go.
No worries. Yeah, let it just stabilize. We can do it in a minute. See, as it stabilizes, look, the engine's spooling down a little bit. It doesn't run at the same speed. So once that has stabilized, you've got a better calculation that you can do.
Okay.
It looks fairly stable now. Going down more. See, we're too fast. So it's going to increase anyway. Okay.
Right. Just gotta wait for it to settle down. Yeah.
Look, it's not going to kill you. We might be out by 200 kilograms or 50 kilograms. You understand? It's not the end of the world. No. But usually we do this like 100 nautical miles from top of descent. We're just going to do it a little bit earlier just to help you out there, right? So, see, it's increased a little bit now because it now needs to hold the speed. But it's fairly stable, so I'm happy with that. So when you look at your fuel, right, at the airport, it's expecting to have 2.5 tons remaining, but currently we have 4.4. So what's the difference?
The 2.1?
That's going to be 3.5, 4.5, so you're looking to minus 1.9. We're looking at a 1.9 ton difference, right? Then you go to your INET reference page. You have to deduct the 1.9 there. Now, God's been good to us. Look, he's given us easy math today, so we just go 62. There you go. All right, so 1.9 less, that's 62. Now you've got your actual V speeds, and you can then select either, one of those flaps. So we use flaps 30. There you go. So now, if you go back to any other page and you come back, you'll see it's back to 63.9 because that's just a temporary thing, 62.
Yeah.
Put it in there, you do your thing, and leave it.
Yeah.
You see,
so okay. So it's not until you actually work out where you are 30-degree flap or 40 flap, where the gross weight actually changes to what you've actually calculated to be.
So you need to have the correct gross weight. So look there, the V speed is 147. If we put that in, it comes down to 144. So it's significantly different. You see, and we've obviously not made our choice, and that's it.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Wasn't that hard after all?
No, it's just know where to do it and how to do it, that's all. It's like everything in life, man.
Yeah, man.
Tell you what, you can take a reasonable, intellectually, not handicapped person, a reasonable brain person, and you can teach him how to be a brain surgeon if you just give him enough time and show him enough time,
That's it.
It's just how life works, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Morning, Christer.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but that sun is causing a huge problem here if you watch from this side. Now, if you go the other side, it looks totally different, but it's so dark.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
shadow is
You
just
see
so
it.
dark.
I've actually got this aircraft as a startup on my PC.
Cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Very cool. Nico, how'd you go with your auto electrician the other day? I did see a post up on that I read.
Yeah, no, he came, he fixed everything quickly. In fact, I got more work for him in one of the other cars, so we'll do that later.
Yeah. Can I ask what sort of cars you have over there?
I've got a Renault Megane and a Nissan Micra. Those are my two cars, and I bought the Micra the other day from just a pre-auction place. You know, it was wholesale pre-auction, and I had to spend a bit of money to just get it back in shape. You know.
Yeah. Nice. I had a Nissan Patrol probably about 18 months ago, and I traded that in on a new Ford Ranger.
Okay.
6-speed. What a vehicle! Beautiful.
Nice.
And I got a big caravan that I tow around when we go on holidays, and it tows it like it doesn't even belong behind it. You know, just the power. That's amazing. Yeah. If they ever want a good rap for a Ford Ranger, talk to me. I'll give you one. Good. Beautiful vehicle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mark.
And was a great.
Sorry, man. I thought you were done.
Okay.
Mark's just asking a question there. If you go to plan mode, you need to go to legs. In your legs, you'll get the step. Okay, Artie, back to you.
As I was saying, that with the new car I got and the caravan which I've had for quite a few years, and with the vast distances that we travel from, because I live in Adelaide, to go to Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane, and it takes quite some time. So you go, you know what, don't worry, we'll just pull up for the night in the caravan and that's it, and then you motor on again the following day. And I suppose that's the beauty about travelling around the country with a car and caravan. But that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, got it.
Brilliant.
Nico, sorry to ask this question, but at the destination page, the ice deviation, how do we calculate that?
You use a calculator. I made a calculator. It's in my private hangar. I'll show you. Hold on. Change the screen. Change the window. That one. So basically, you need to put in the airport elevation, the current temperature, and it gives you the ISO deviation. It's easy as that.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Right. Go into my private hangar. Go to the Zibo folder, and in there you'll see it. It's in its own folder.
So you reckon private hangar in the Zibo?
How do you get it? Now what happens is go upstairs here in Discord. Go look for Skymatix info just above our heads here. Skymatix info. You'll see there the private hangar link. You just click on that. It takes you into my Google Drive, and then you just navigate.
Got it.
So you'll see the last folder is Zibo, and if you go into Zibo, you should have an ISA deviation calculator folder, and then you just get it there. For the guys who are not on Discord, I'll share the link with you here.
KLM 171 off the flight deck for 10 minutes. KLM 171.
Alright, it's a happening thing.
Nice to have.
I'm sure you're 100% correct.
Mark, I'm confused now. Did you hear my explanation of the ATIS, or was my mic muted? Because I've just realized my mic is currently muted. The dog started barking and I think I forgot to enable it again.
Well, Nico, I've just downloaded it and I've got it up on my other screen here.
Cool.
And if you're willing to go through it again, I'm more than happy.
Okay, well,
I'm not sure where Mark's sitting on the fence for this one.
No, Mark's got to do with the ATIS and the frequency. You're talking about the ISA deviation calculator?
Yes.
Yeah. All you do is, there are two openings on the left that you have to fill in, two blanks, which is the airport elevation and the temperature. That's all.
Yep.
All you do.
All right. Okay.
And then on the right-hand side, it will give you the ISA deviation.
Okay. Does it get any simpler than this?
Nope. And the nice thing is, before I start my flight, I usually open it. I put the destination airport elevation in, and then I put the current temperature. So the next thing that comes up, obviously, is as you are flying, during the daytime, it might get warmer, so the temperature might go up by 1 or 2, or, you know, if it's coming to the evening side, it might actually cool down 1 or 2 degrees. And then the only thing I change during the flight is just the current temperature.
Okay. Yeah. So it is worth hanging out with you. You learn so much.
Partly the whole purpose of me and my channel has always been more education than entertainment. That's why I only have 30 or 40 or 50 people watching the stream. You know, if I wanted to do entertainment, I could probably push it up to 1,000 at the stream, you know, but I'm not an entertainer, first of all. I'm an educator.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that you do very well.
I try. Thank you.
Well, just saying how it is. You're doing really good.
Nah, look, I mean, I'm not going to mention other streamers' names, but there are guys, Alex, you know, they sit there, they create the biggest load of nonsense on the stream, but because people laugh and it's entertainment, you know, he gets the money. You know, it's just how it is. He gets the following. You go into one of those streams, there's like 500 people at once looking there, how he's making jokes and smoking pot and, you know, doing all kinds of shit on stream. It's not me. No, thank you.
No, you're down to earth, mate. Down to earth, and say how it is, and you show it how it is as well. And so much to learn off you, mate. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I decided from the beginning to keep it real. You know, if I make a mistake, everybody can see the mistake. They can learn from it. They can laugh. Yeah, do what they want. Keeping it real is much better for me.
Yeah. I love it. It's great, and that's why I jumped onto the channel quite some time ago. I've learned heaps since I've done this. So it's brilliant.
Exactly. Let me go see if I can move that web camera again. Hold on. I'm back.
So Nico, I just did an ISA deviation calculation because I'm back here in Adelaide, and the airport elevation is 20 feet, because I know that as a fact. Current airport temperature, when I found that, it was 15.8, and I found that the ISA deviation temperature is 0. And
Exactly.
I thought, wow, that's so simple.
It's very simple. Christer put the formula into the chat there. You know, it's just 15. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat that. It's there, and it's in that thing. So it's a factor of 15 basically that you just multiply with and do the calculation with. So
yeah, simple.
Yeah. So it's 15 minus. Let me mention it. 15 minus the number of feet times 2. It's 15 minus the number of feet times 2. So
yeah.
That's your formula. It's a very easy one. If you look in this the spreadsheet, you can also pick it up there. So that's very easy.
All right. Bit more homework to do.
I am able to descend.
Good luck, Hakan. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jet Power. Why, Paul? Are you talking to me or Christer? Because as far as I know, my one is right. I see Christer is left out a little bit there. It's not entirely the same as mine, yeah. Yeah, got it. I had to quickly look. See if I can type it here.
Hakan, what is your location?
CEGAM intersection is turning right now.
Okay, thanks.
I think I got the thing right now. So it's airfield temperature minus, then it's 15 minus the airfield elevation divided by 1000 times 2. And then, the whole sum should get together. Anyway, it's in that spreadsheet. So if I missed one of the brackets there, don't shoot me. It's in the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is the way it should be.
All right, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, the spreadsheet's correct. We've been using the spreadsheet for years and years and years.
So if I get it wrong, it's only because of lack of understanding on my behalf.
Yeah, but how can you get it wrong? You put in the elevation, you put in the temperature, and the calculator gives it for you, you know, so...
It does. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's good. Good little app.
Yep. There was a different formula that we looked at in the beginning, but it was like higher grade maths, and it was taking things into consideration we didn't need. So we decided on using this one for the spreadsheet because it's the simplest one that gives you a reasonable reflection of what it is.
Yeah. And there's always one thing when I looked at the flight management computer would say, how do I work that out? Where do I get those answers from? And you know how to get the Q and H, yeah, that was easy enough, but how do I work out the temperature? But now I know. All right, just another tick in the box. Thank you for that, sir.
No worries.
Uncle John is approaching to me dangerously. Probably one of us will be go around it.
Nico,
Yes.
what is your minima setting?
I haven't said that yet, hold on.
614.
Tim, it's okay. Can you at least hear us? My minima is 614. Yeah, there you go, 614.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no, that's cool. Well, welcome. Six, 1, 4.
So 614, that's decision height, I take it, Nico?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a safety margin. You have to have VREF plus something because otherwise you're going to be too slow, huh? You might end up in trouble.
Yeah.
Uncle John is Speedy Gonzalez.
You just have to compensate for that.
I am trying to, but he's probably past me.
Right, guys, I'm just gonna grab something to eat quick.
Okay.
Here we go, I see him.
You were talking about Uncle John then?
He will not listen to me.
He is Speedy Gonzalez.
I am not, he is.
Ready for descent procedure.
Twixter. Twixter, I've given you voice activation right, so we can hear you now.
Approach top of descent.
Do you hear me now?
Perfect.
Oh, okay. I couldn't figure it out, and I guess that was obvious if I had to be activated. So,
Twixter, what we do normally is everybody except the moderators have push to talk forced on them. So all you had to do was set up a push to talk button on your side. But because it's you, I just created a Twixter user on, in the room, and I just gave that specific user, your user, full access rights now.
okay, I'm not. I'll have to figure out how that works. How to do the
No
push
need.
to talk button. I was looking for it. I just couldn't find anything.
No worries, no need. It won't happen again. I've literally created the Twixter user to have the rights now forever and ever and ever. So you just come and go as you please. No, don't worry about it.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Morning, team.
You're welcome. Good morning. It is definitely morning here. It's 3:45 in the morning, and I haven't been to bed yet. So.
Oops. Yeah.
You're what a hero. It's was it 8:20 here in Australia at the moment?
Yeah, you're definitely in a far different time zone.
Definitely am. I'm living in your future, and I think you're living in my past. That's how I sort of work it out.
Yeah, on the other side of that wonderful date line, wherever that. I never have been able to find that place.
It's in London.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent more than my amount of time crossing that thing, though.
Actually, it's more towards past Australia, past New Zealand. Sorry, I'm talking when I shouldn't, but anyway, it's somewhere in the bloody middle of the ocean.
Yeah, it's right on the prime meridian. The date line is the opposite of the prime meridian, I guess, technically, but yeah, it's in the middle of the Pacific there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I used to cross it all the time, going from Honolulu to Sydney.
Okay, so you're well versed with Sydney then.
Oh yeah. I used to. It's been. I hate to say how long ago, but last time I did a trip to Sydney was about 1995, and used to come out of Honolulu, and then we'd fly down to Fiji. I was flying freighters at the time, so we were too heavy to go non-stop. So, we'd stop in Fiji and Nandi and fuel up there, and then finish the rest of the trip on into Sydney. And the way our trip worked, I'd get 3 days sitting there and in Sydney, and I stayed at the Sheraton Wentworth right down on Circular K.
Yeah, I know where you are. Yeah. Ah, cool. That's nice. You would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, I used to enjoy that trip a lot.
Yeah, and I always thought it was a bloody long haul, Honolulu to Sydney.
That indeed it is, yeah. And but we of course were carrying max payload of freight, so we could never really use all our fuel capacity to make that trip nonstop. A lot different with the passenger airplane because the passenger airplane flies a lot lighter than the freighters do.
And here lies the question. So most of our overseas commercial airliners, they fly out of Sydney and they fly towards the west, like Western Australia, then on to Dubai, and then from there they sort of dissipate to where they want to go through Europe. And I'm thinking, so why don't they fly out of Sydney and go east and get into America that way, which to me seems a shorter route. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of restrictions on it. I don't really understand that side of the fence. Maybe you can enlighten me here a little bit.
You know, it's not always obvious, you know, what the shortest route may be, but sometimes it's just a matter of how the traffic patterns work best. When I normally I used to fly the same trip most of the time. I was based in Los Angeles at the time, and most of the trips that I flew, not all of them, but most of them were actually subcontract to Qantas. And so I would come out of LA and go LA Honolulu, and then lay over for 24 hours, and then Honolulu, Fiji, Sydney, lay over for 3 days. And then fly from Sydney to Hong Kong and lay over for 5 days.
All right.
And then from Hong Kong, we'd go on up to Anchorage, usually with a fuel stop in Russia. And then I would get off the airplane in most of the time. I'd get off the airplane in Anchorage. This is back in the day when we had interline jump seat agreements. Prior to 9/11, so I could just go on over to like Alaska Airlines and hitch a ride, get a jump seat down to LA, get in my car and drive home. But I'd be out 13 or 14 days doing that trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm really interested in finding some more stories out of you.
Oh well, time will tell. I'm sure I will have a few stories to tell.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, my wife says I ought to write a book, but you know, like every aviator, I say, okay, what am I going to say that's much different than anybody else who's been at this for 40 years? But she always said,
yet you say that, and I think every human being has its own story, and it might differentiate slightly from one person to the next. My kids say to me all the time, Dad, you sit down and write a book of what you've done. Who would read it? You know, I don't know. Maybe one day.
You know,
I don't know.
it is funny. I guess part of it is, you know, there's if you're going to write a book about your escapades, perhaps one needs to mix a little bit of fiction in with it. Only because to create that. You know, I don't know.
You have to hold that.
That's why I'm not a writer, because I'm too literal. But
I think I fall into that category as well.
Well, every now and then, you know, I'll be sitting down and I'll be having a conversation, and this question does come up from time to time, and people will ask you a question or something will come up that will jog my memory, and I'll tell a little story about something that happened at some point in time, and my wife will look at me and she says, "You never told me about that." And usually it's because I was talking about something that went wrong, you know, some problem we had, and I just looked at her and I said, you know, if I told you all those stories, then you'd just worry about me when I went out the door every time.
Exactly, you just would let me go. You locked me down.
You know, there I was over Papua New Guinea, and number 4 engine exploded, and we had to turn back to Sydney. That's a real story. You know? My wife looks at me and I told that whole story, and she says, "You never told me that one." I said, "Well, scared the hell out of me. I want to scare you." You know.
Very good.
Yeah, but there are little things like that. I guess you just forget about them, and then then you realize
Yeah.
there were over several years, there were lots of little incidents that come up.
Mhm.
But that's just part of what we
And-
do.
Exactly, and it doesn't matter what profession that you're in. You'll have little incidents, and you go, that could have turned out really nasty. Yeah.
You know, some of them are, some of them are more serious than others. But, just last year I was taken off out of Florida, and I actually had a famous passenger on board. I'm always bad about remembering who these guys were with, but he was one of the guys that started one of the famous, one of rock bands in the 60s. Stephen Perry, if you know who he is.
Yeah.
And
you're like me,
Perry,
you trouble with names. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen
Yeah,
Perry
go.
was kind of a white knuckler, and we took off, and right at V1, I took a bird strike in the right engine, but I didn't know for sure that it was a bird strike. Or I knew the bird go by, but I didn't know it went in the engine for sure. So I'm checking the engine instruments, and right at V1, so I'm rotating, and I'm watching it like a hawk, and I had a brand new co-pilot on, and he just kind of froze up as soon as I said bird strike. But I flew the airplane all the way up the coast because I couldn't see anything wrong with the engine. And then I landed in Bedford, Massachusetts. And after the passenger was gone, I went out in the rain, got up in there, and I looked in the engine, and sure enough, I had engine damage. But it ran like butter the whole way for 3 hours.
Perfect.
But there was no way I could tell. So, if I didn't have a reason to turn around unless I saw something on the engine indications, vibration, something. It's nothing.
Yeah, anything.
But
nothing there. Well, keep going. Right.
So,
hey, I'll let you go because you probably want to talk to other people here on online. So
that's all right.
Great
Good
chat,
to chat.
man. Love it. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. I got to remember this is Nico's game here too. Being able to talk is not always a good thing.
Nico loves it when we take over and we start talking, and I do that sometimes to him, and he goes, no, just drop it in. I'm just listening to what you guys have to say. It's great. That gives him a break from having to chat all the time, right, Nico?
Yeah, and I got to finish my pizza, and I got to finish my cold drink, and I'm busy. I set up the aircraft for landing. I did my thing, I promise you.
Oh, all right. Well,
Nico,
yes, Tim.
I may not be able to finish the whole trip here. So I just wanted to ask you if there were any questions you had about the latest changes on the flight model,
Tim, what I've noticed is it's kind of like more sports car-y again. It's like it's too responsive. Okay, on my system. You and I started off, I said, wow, this is really very responsive. We talked about the curves. Then Zibo tuned the autopilot and the flight model and everything to fit in with your flight model, whatever that he did. It was really great. It was awesome. But this morning when I took off, it's like when I rotated, it was like I was like a bit special again. It was just too sensitive for me.
But you know what that is? It's because he added the balance tab. The balance tab has more authority to the elevator.
Okay. So again, I'll probably have to get used to that now, and then I'll report back in a day or two. But Paul was asking earlier about the effectiveness of the speed brake. I'm not sure if he's implying it's not good enough or too good. So I don't know how the speed brake would affect all the changes you made.
Glad you brought that up, because Zibo and I have been having discussion on that, and it was my impression when I was test flying the pre-release version of this the other day that the speed brake was a little bit weak in certain regimes. Was working a little better at high altitude, but I didn't think it was being very effective at mid. But in fairness, you have to kind of do a test against the data, and I need to go into. There's a place in the flight crew training manual that has some listed values, at what airspeed and at 60 tons and what kind of rate of descent. But we were actually working on, he's added a data ref that will allow me to tune the speed brake directly. one of the things that's happened here with the flight model since Zibo, like the engines, he's created his own parametric flight control modeling.
Flight level 100.
Now,
Landing
that
lights
means that I
switches on.
cannot directly tune it. If I was able to use Plane Maker, which was the original case, I could go in there and I could tune all of those things. But I cannot do that. All I can do is test it and then ask him to make some changes per the testing. So the airfoils, the things that cause the actual aerodynamics, that's still in my ballpark because I still create and modify the airfoils.
Okay.
But progressively, a lot of the things that I would have taken care of, whether it was engine readings, i.e. N1, fuel flow, and all of that stuff, I originally was doing that, but slowly that has all become part of Zibo's parametric engine model, just as the flight controls just went parametric. So, however, I tested most of them today, and with the exception of the change of adding the balance tab, I was quite pleased with how it was flying. It didn't change any of my basic aerodynamics. I did some minimum maneuvering tests at all the flap settings, and it was performing the way it's supposed to. But and I was pleased about that. But the spoilers is one of the things that we need to look at, and I would like to say that ideally what I'd like to do is get some feedback from any of the current NG pilots that can go ahead and try doing a speed brake evaluation from descent, cruise all the way down, and see what their impressions are.
Okay. For that, just make a post in the dev room, okay, and just say, "Hi, all real pilots," because they're all sitting there. You can send out the message in that channel to them.
In the developers room?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll see who bites.
That's
Otherwise,
what
I'll
we'll
chase them.
probably do. I have some of the data that I can take out of the book. Today I found a lot of good data, and I sent it to Lubos. He may already have it, but we've been looking for a lot of engineering data that we couldn't find, and I stumbled onto it today. Whether or not he's able to put it to use or not remains to be seen, because you have to figure out how to put all that stuff into usable form, in formulas. So, but we're in the past, everything was all based on just what we're talking about. Test, observe for the data, then make changes. So, and that will still probably be the case. As you're well aware, some other people have tried to model flight models based on nothing but numbers, and it just never works. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, if all your friends over there at the Level Up, are they making some progress, or?
I have no idea. I haven't spoken to Alan in a while. We need to ask him.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah,
I know
too.
that's not something like to discuss on things here, but it's just something that came to mind.
Yeah, he went on holiday the other day, so I'm not sure if he's back yet and stuff, but we can ask him later.
Okay. Well, I think I don't know if you're going to find any additional issues with the autopilot. Most of, I gave a little feedback to Lubos the other day on a few things on this because there's a lot of changes in this latest release. So between 5.8, 9, and 6.0, there's a lot of changes that have been made. I was quite happy overall with how it's flying now. Based on what you were just saying a minute ago, I will do some takeoff tests and see if maybe now that he's added the balance tabs, I may have to reduce the authority of the elevators a little bit.
Could
but
be.
But you remember I was also telling you that here is where you can use those curves in the settings. You can use your flight control curves for the pitch and roll, and just smooth out the off center a little bit. I.e., we were discussing that, how to put a little depression or a little bit of a space there where you can keep it from being quite so sensitive off center. Now, I don't notice what you do because I'm using that Boeing yoke.
Yes.
And it has a little more stiffness off center. It's not got a detent, but it still is a little bit more resistant off center than what you described with your elastic bands. So, and that's an issue that every user will have depending on the kind of controller and the importance of tuning their individual controls. So
no, I get that. Twixter, I'm busy turning finals. I need to speak to ATC, so I just need a minute or three just to land and get off the stream, and then we can continue talking.
Yeah, no problem.
Seven 1, flight plan close, 1010, welcome to Bilbao, frequency change approach.
Muchas gracias por el ATC, KLM 171. Thank you very much, bye-bye.
De nada.
Bilbao Tower, Skymatix 001, we're inbound on the ILS for runway 12.
Skymatix 001, Bilbao Tower, good day. Continue approach. Preceding traffic now landing on runway 12. I'll call you back for the clearance.
Thank you, sir. We'll wait for clearance, Skymatix 001. Hello, Louis. Jean-Pierre, yeah, sorry, I couldn't interject there, but I wanted to say something to that effect. Check your settings.
So when via checkpoint.
Right.
Skymatix 001, winds 120 degrees, 6 knots, variable between 080 160 degrees, runway 12, clear to land.
Runway 12, clear to land, Skymatix 001.
Bilbao Tower, LFOK traffic for runway 12, Turkish 982.
Turkish 982, Bilbao Tower, good day. Preceding traffic is 567 miles out. You have it 1 mile preceding you. Please reduce to minimum approach speed.
Speed minimum and continue to traffic on to CAT 982.
Hakan. No, he's muted himself.
Nico, I am going around.
Okay, Tommy, it's fine.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for landing. Flaps 30 set. Ready for landing checklist.
Nico, please make long landing, okay? Long landing.
I'll do my best.
I don't want to go around
Turkish 982, it will be a go around again, sir.
He says he wants you to go.
I have talked with the company traffic. He is going to land longly I would like to continue to my approach, and in case of any problem, I'm going to go around again. Turkish 982.
1000. Turkish 982, copy. If you wish, I will give you vectors to you.
Roger that, I will call you after traffic landing.
Copy.
Approaching 1, 2.
Approaching decision height.
500. Cleared to land runway 12.
500. 400 minimums.
Twixter.
Yeah.
As I'm flying here, this thing is like feather light. I'm just touching it. Look how it's rolling. I'm literally, I mean, I'm not even putting any effort in this thing to make it roll. It's just, it's very, very, very light on the control.
100.
Oh, I didn't change anything with that. I'm wondering what the deal is. I would assume the pitch should be the thing that.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
Roger.
But it's
Climb
very twitchy.
3,500
it's light,
feet.
very light.
By your right, heading 3.
Yeah, I would say.
By your left, copy.
You know, the first thing is
by your
check
left, 300. Climbing
your
to
neutral zones
3,500
in the
feet.
EFB. And if you have none set there, just make a minimal and then test that out. And if that doesn't help, then of course go into the settings and create a little bit of a flat spot on your curve, right off center.
Okay, well, this is the first time I'm flying the released version. Okay, so I'll play around with it a little bit. I'll let you know.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any different. But then again, like I say, you know, I've got a different controller than you do.
Continue taxi, Tango, gate Alpha 2, stand
You know, my sense of feel is different than what you've got. Without actually feeling your controller, I
It's
don't know
difficult.
what to say, you know.
Okay, give me a second. Taxi Tango, Alpha 2, then stand 7, Skymatix 001. Okay, right, I've just had to speak to ATC there.
Bilbao Torre, muy buenos
Hello,
días.
Terra, hello,
Recordamos hoy
HD.
que estamos a tope, estamos en plataforma, con plan de vuelo enviado destino Palma de Mallorca, solicitamos retroceso puesta en marcha, ruta según plan de vuelo, Vueling 3944.
Sisto.
Vueling 3944, Bilbao Torre, buenos días. ¿Se confirma que tiene eco a bordo?
Sí, perdón, estamos eco a bordo. Sí.
Yeah, no worries.
Vueling 3944 a Palma, espere pista 12, Pamplona 1 Hotel, inicial 80, el QNH 1018, responda 3663.
Alpha 2, we need to go to 7, yeah?
I like the little overlay there, Nico. That's very nice, the airport layout.
Yeah.
Immediate landing.
Turkish 982, you're number 2 for the approach.
Right, now this is Airport Navigator. It's free from the org, guys. You can just get it from the org. It's called Airport Navigator.
Salida 12, Pamplona 1 Hotel, inicial 8000, QNH 1018, respondemos 3663.
Thank you.
3944.
Vueling 3944, colación correcta,
Duncan, you know the guy that
puesta en
makes
marcha, pruebas encarando
this ATC, hold
al
on.
sur.
Hold on.
Retroceso puesta en marcha, prueba 2 al sur, Vueling 3944.
It's made by Duncan, the same guy that makes the ZHSI.
Oh.
Alright.
Turkish 982, indicated airspeed.
200 knots.
Turkish 982, reduce to 180.
180982.
Turkish 982, turn left, heading 284.
284982, left heading.
Okay, so for those that didn't hear because of ATC, this overlay plugin is called Airport Navigator. It's free from the org, guys. And just download it there.
Flaps up and set.
And Schematic 001 on the blocks.
Schematic 001, flight plan close at 1019. Frequency change approved, on to Bilbao.
Thank you for your service, so much appreciated. Right, so to answer the question, Louis, yes, I've got a rather entry-level Thrustmaster thing. Not the greatest, but it works. Yeah, the voices were crazy at one point in time, Christer. Sorry about that. Hello, Wycliffe.
No problem.
Turkish 982, left turn 260.
Got to fly first.
Yeah. Let me just get off Unicom so the ATC doesn't bother us. I'm going to type the detail in here quickly. It is called Airport Navigator. There you go. All right. I've got AVS, but it's just so much quicker and easier to use this Airport Navigator. So that's what it is. All right.
You know what's strange? While I'm using your voice on here on Discord, I'm not getting any sound in the background, but I'm hearing your voice.
There won't be any sound. Are you watching the actual video that I stream on Discord as well, or are you watching YouTube? Because the way it's set up, Dexter, let me just explain quickly. The ATC is cut from Discord. Okay, when we press the push to talk, it also activates press to mute in Discord, so that we don't talk over each other in Discord. You see, so it's like a hidden function. So if you watch the video on Discord, you'll obviously hear the engine sounds and the simulator sounds, but you can only hear the ATC when you're on YouTube watching that stream.
Okay, that's why and because of my phone doesn't have the fidelity that my desktop would have. I'm actually watching it on TV, but they're not, because that's YouTube. They're not in alignment. There's a delay in YouTube, but so I can hear everything there, but it's not. It's about 2 seconds delayed or something like that.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah, but
loving the new flight model, Trickster.
What's that again?
Loving the new flight model.
Well, good. It will take some adjustment because it is a little different in feel. I'm sure some people that's affecting more than others, as Nico and I were just discussing.
Yeah, definitely.
But depending on what your flight controller is, those guys who are using a Boeing yoke will probably like it a lot.
Yeah, because it was made on the Boeing yoke.
Yeah. And this is like we're saying, every controller is going to be a little different, and some. It's not just about fidelity either. It's just that some are just more sensitive than others.
Yeah.
But did you have any issues that I didn't see or hear about during this flight?
Negative. No, I've mentioned all my issues to you. It was the rotation. It was very light on the rotation. It just went up. I couldn't feel any weight on the aircraft at all. And then when I disconnected, it was like when I just turned slightly. Ever so slightly, the aircraft would respond very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that will be definitely a case of you wanting to add a little bit of curve in your controls.
Yeah, we'll play with it.
Yeah, you can create a lot of effect. Really a lot of effect just with that first 1/4 of travel off of center with the using the curves.
Yeah.
And the reason why I prefer that over using the slider is because the slider puts a curve in the whole in the whole flight controller travel. So, you know, you cannot. What I'm trying to say is, instead of just getting a nice change in feel off center, which is where we spend 95% of our time flying, now it weakens the entire curve, and you don't have any direct control over that curve. So, in order to get around that, using the curves themselves, or modifying the curves themselves, you can actually slowly restore that as designed curve, you know, the forces in the higher. And the reason for that, of course, is to be able to have enough control authority when you really need it, like at low airspeed. You know, you pull back on the stick. A stall is a good example. If you do a stall practice, right? If you don't have enough elevator authority, you'll run out of elevator and stab before you stall the airplane, as an example. So, and we want to be able to, of course, pull the stick back and use the trim, and, you know, just like in the real airplane, take it right down to onset stall and then do a recovery predictably. So if I make the elevator too weak so that it feels a little heavier, quote unquote, it could actually put us in a position there where we don't have enough elevator authority. So there's always some yin and yang, you know, there's a balancing
of course
that you have to.
No, of course.
You know.
And look, at the end of the day, I am a creature of habit and stuff, right? So I've grown used to how it felt for me with one setting. Now I've changed the setting. Now I need to get used to and create a new habit with a new setting. So, you know, that's one of those things.
Well, you know, those exercises, and I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot the last couple of days, that I probably need to put out a couple of videos that I was talking about, and not wait. You know, I mean, I was wanting to get my sim done, but, you know, in reality, it's going to take me 4 to 6 more months to get it.
Yeah, so you might as well start making videos. You can always revise or replace, you know.
Oh yeah, it's not going to change anything much. It's just presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I kind of wanted to make videos that actually showed what I was doing in the cockpit, not using artificial controllers, but using the real controllers.
Gotcha.
You know, a real throttle, just like when you watch other guys use their flight decks, except that instead of just doing a flight, actually do some training in the cockpit with. But what I was going to say is, you know, if you practice those acceleration, deceleration, and turn exercises I was talking about, hand flying with no flight detector, you'll get to a point where you become so habitual at trimming that you don't rely as much on yanking and banking, quote unquote.
Yes.
And that is the fine tuning of developing a hand for flying, because even in the real airplane, you'll find a difference. Number one complaint, you may have heard Sasso even mention this, is that pilots get into the simulator in the real world. They go into the 6DOF simulator, and usually the first day they're not very happy at all, because to them it doesn't feel like the airplane. And the airplane is always feels more stable. But the reason for that is because you got motion, you got G loading, you got all these things, these other cues that you don't have when you're in a simulator. Even when you're on a 6 degrees of motion simulator, you know, you're really getting that same sensation that you get in the real airplane. Plus, you don't have the same sound cues. There's a whole bunch of things that are missing. So the first day back in the simulator for real pilots, and they, you know, of course, the captains have to go every 6 months, you know, so when they get in there, the first day they're not very happy. Then the next day they've adapted, and, you know, they're fine. But there is a change that they go through between the airplane to the sim and then the sim back to the airplane. As much as we try to make the sim feel as much like the airplane as we can, there are limits. You know?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so that's why I say, you know, tuning your controllers to your own feel is good. You know, that's what I strongly encourage.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it is, it's a challenge. And, you know, to be fair, well, I'll just have to, like I say, I'll have to make some of those videos because there's some techniques that I use to teach people, you know, how to manage the aircraft real predictably. And there may or may not be things that you've seen before. As, you know, for instance, when I fly in, and I do this in every airplane I have flown. When I make a bank, you know, I mean, in a jet, we usually go right into a 25, 30 degree bank turn, right? Most of the time. Not always. There's times you have to do shallow turns. But, you know, let's say I need to make a 40 or 50 degree change in heading. So I'm going to, and I'm going along at, say, 250 knots, which is typical maneuvering speed below 10,000 feet. And I make a roll. I roll into my turn. And of course, I bank it right on over at that speed to about 25 to 30 degrees of bank, depending on what the flight director tends to limit me to. But I roll it in, and I automatically add a certain amount of trim. Now, how much trim do I add? I add a certain amount of trim that I have already programmed my brain, and it's like a count in my brain. It's like 1001, 1002, 1003, and I stop trimming. Then when I relax the yoke in the turn, the airplane just and this is hand flying off the autopilot, right? So the airplane just maintains altitude, right? Exactly what I had. And then when I roll out, I take that exact amount of trim out, and the airplane's right back where it was stable. So these are little techniques that I teach people, and they get them started in understanding how to just subconsciously be out in front of the airplane. And of course, the most important thing about that particular technique, for instance, is that the airplane is always stable if I have to look away from the from the attitude director indicator, right? So if I have to do something else in the cockpit, look down at the FMS, now normally the support pilot does everything on the FMS, but in the real world, we do have things that occasionally will pull us away from keeping our eyeballs on that attitude director indicator. So it's not something we want to be doing, but it does happen. You're going to have distractions that pull you away from it. But when you come back to it, you want it to be exactly where you left it, right? So basically, it's a habit of certain instrument flying skills that we develop that make sure that the airplane's in a stable condition before our eyes have to wander away to anything else. You know, it's kind of like when you have to look at the EFB, right? You're hand flying, you could ask the other pilot to do it, but when you're when you're practicing in the cockpit in your simulator, right? It's you, right? And Linda's not going to be very responsive for you asking her for something off the EFB, right?
No.
So she knows how to do what she knows how to do, but she's not going to be very responsive for you to ask her to asking her to look up some chart or something.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Now, naturally, of course, we would do these things on the autopilot, right? But there are times when we're hand flying, like I say, that you need to distract yourself briefly away from your control instruments. And there's techniques that we can teach and that can be easily learned that create a really stable flying environment. Otherwise, we're just chasing our tails all the time.
Shutdown procedure.
And that's human nature, you know. The way pilots learn to fly, right, is make the airspeed settle down, make the altitude and the vertical rate do what you want it to do. But actually in a jet airplane, those are performance instruments instead of commands. So what I want to do is set a pitch, set a power, and then check the vertical rate, check the airspeed. And if they're not what I want, then I make a correction. But this becomes a habit. Anyway, not to get off on a tangent on that, but these are some of the things that I want to spend some time making videos about to help guys who don't have a background in instrument flight. Those who've been simming for years have more exposure, but the newer simmers don't have any clue, right? Unless they are pilots, or they have some background. But they're quite literally, the autopilot comes off and they're lost through no fault of their own. They haven't learned anything yet. And I know you see it all the time. There's new people that come in all the time that haven't learned any of the basics yet. This is a hobby that's a lot of fun, and on auto flight you can facilitate a lot of that. But if we want to learn to actually fly the airplane, then we got to start somewhere, and that has to be with the basics.
Of course.
So
yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I need to go now. So if you guys want to continue talking with Tim, you're going to have to come to Discord. The link is in the video, in the description below the video, guys. So
I'm going to have to go off, too, because it's 4:30 in the morning, and I need to go to bed.
Sleep well. Sleep well. Sleep well.
Sleep well.
I just happened to come across you were online, so that's when I went ahead and came on, because
all right.
Obviously your time and my time don't normally align.
Exactly.
Unless I'm up late. So
well, thank you so much.
Coming on again, man. Thank you.
All right, you guys take care, and I hope you guys all enjoy the new flight model, and go ahead and bring up your criticisms when you find them so we can fix them.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
And Nico, thank you very much, mate. I learned quite a bit this afternoon. So,
no problem.
Yes,
I just want to quickly finish off this thing about the push-to-talk thing we were talking about. Okay, so on screen here, what I did was, sorry, and you guys are going to have to watch this on YouTube, because now I've taken control away from myself in Discord. I can't share my screen differently now. Okay. Basically, all I do is I use the same button for push to mute than what I use on iVeo to do the transmission. So when I press the right control button on my keyboard, it mutes Discord so that my voice doesn't go through to Discord, but at the same time it push to talks on iVeo. You understand? And that's how I manage it. And then that's your answer. So that means we can then all sit here together in Discord. And wait a minute. Wait, let me just change this screen quickly. Hold on. Let me just take that one side. All right. So
how do you get? Yeah. Okay. What window did you navigate to there?
All right. If you go down to the bottom here to your settings, and you go look for keybinds. There's keybinds over there. Okay, so that's where you can set these things. So the push to talk and push to mute should be the same one. So push to talk for iVeo or VATSIM or whatever is the same one as push to mute in Discord. That's it. So when you push to talk in the one platform, it mutes the other platform, and that's what I was trying to say, to show you. We can then all sit in one room, and we won't interfere with each other when we're talking, because obviously we're also going to have our radios in the Zibo mod tuned to the ATC if we're in the same area, okay? And we're going to hear it anyway. So you don't want to double up and do things like that. So that's how we do it. We just go to the settings, keybinds, and set up a push to mute to be the same button as what we use for push to talk. That's all.
Okay, well, we'll come and visit that again at some point here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I know I can understand how I couldn't do that on my phone, though, because I don't have a keyboard.
Yeah, okay. It makes sense, But, Tim, just to reiterate, you've now got permissions to talk in this channel. It won't go away now because it's per user level, okay? So it's on your username, you've got your permissions. You don't have to worry about it again.
Okay, cool. But I'm glad you're reviewing this because I wouldn't realize, because I wasn't hearing ATC, I wouldn't realize when I'd be talking over ATC, and you don't want to ever do that.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's that. Obviously.
Well, you see, one of the things here, Tim, is we're actually such good friends here. You know, we don't necessarily use the word shut up, but we've got our way of communicating. Hey, give me a chance. Keep quiet, ATC or whatever. You know, we've got ways of talking to each other without offending each other, and then the other guys just shut up quickly, you know, and then we do it. But you'll get used to it. You know, we all do it in good spirits here, so you'll get used to it.
Yeah, works well.
Yeah. Okay. But
okay.
that's it for
one of
me.
these days, when I get around to it, I'll join you on a flight, maybe. But
oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, guys. Let me switch off this stream quickly. And thank you again for watching. We'll talk later.